There. Oh, well, here we go. I always love how I start these crazy shows off. Hello, everybody. And you can hear we're on YouTube now. So, hi, YouTubers. I have to go and put that on mute. Anyway, there's a few people over there. So, hope everybody's having a good weekend. Good Sunday morning. It's official. We got another batch of new TRIers all trained and examined up, and you can already see them going out and rocking the world. One thing I was a little surprised at, I got to tell you, maybe I got to sit down and actually make these exams harder. Like what's interesting is when I first wrote the course, people always complained that I made the exams too hard. And now I've gone the other way, where we've kind of made them, I guess, relatively easy. It's that first version of the automated school program. So we just wanted to make darn sure everybody got the information that was supposed to be imparted in the course. And basically the exam is a regurgitation of the entire course and all the questions asked. Threw in a few other questions, kind of things that came to mind. And I see our resident economist is holding me to task on my question about the Nobel Prize winning economists and the efficient frontier, but I'm pretty confident in that question on the exam. I guess the long and short of it here is, hopefully, hope. We've got a good, maybe, I don't know, if we're lucky, a good 100 new people that can go out into the world and just talk about what, basic good behavior is in the marketplace, and in essence, you guys are now emissaries of that good behavior. And as well, what I've seen is quite a bit of referrals. People are really saying, "Hey, you want to just learn how to do this and make money at this and have fun at this? Go take."
10:39.
Oh, hello. We have somebody. Who's that? That's a cool picture. Jason. Hello, Jason. We've got a new term coming up, and Grim's going to be our quarterback for that term. He'll do the Q&As, and I think all the people who are going to be in that program you're in great hands. In fact, he's probably got a better attitude than I do. But TAs were absolutely rocking it this term, and I don't see any reason why any of that should change. James, Garrett, Thomas. I mean, fucking what a godsend Thomas is. So I think really, this TRI site, it isn't just about Brian Beamish anymore. And really, I didn't want that. What really this should be is a community where we're all, just sort of emissaries of good behavior. I mean, what I teach isn't rocket science. It's fairly basic stuff. Hey, right. So Jason just says here, just finished the level 1 exam. So let's party. So cool. And actually, it'd be interesting, Jason. Do you feel as though you are empowered now? Do you feel like that was a journey that really changed the way that you looked at life? If you got a microphone, feel free to come on in and tell the people, because you just wrote the level 1 exam. Wait a minute. That's what you get for posting. I might just turn this around and put the spotlight right on you, dude. I know our resident gap hunter is here, and I think he did the exam. I think, somebody wrote in the yesterday, all right, took me 17 minutes. And I was like, fuck me. Okay, maybe I got to sit down and make this a little harder on you guys. I don't know if we got any 100% back. I think Jason told me, I think that Julian told me that a couple of people got 100%. So good to see there. Now, we're probably going to, best course you've done in the past 14 years. That's cool. All right, cool. Well, and by all means, if you have a microphone, you want to come on and, hey, there you go. What do you think, Jason? Was that an eye-opening experience for you?
Yeah, great course. I highly recommend it to anyone that's watching.
Cool. The great part about it is most of the people that do religiously watch these daily briefs on a regular basis, they've worked their way through the education program, or they're sort of in the queue. Do you think you feel empowered now? That's really the big question. Do you feel empowered?
Absolutely, Brian. I mean, I have 14 years of post-secondary education, and they should have taught me this stuff in high school.
Yeah. Medicine, just some money, eh?
Maybe I could have retired earlier.
Yeah. Oh, well, what can you do?
Well,
Pardon me?
better late than never.
Yeah, absolutely, eh? And the good part about all of you guys, right, is this is like 30 years of my life, all sort of distilled into a nice, pretty package for you. So consider, you got it when you got it, and now, pass the word. In fact, I think I was seeing people saying that in the lounge today. Like, ironically enough, your job, like Jason, you actually have a pretty big responsibility now to try and help all the other people that. And does it make sense, Jason, why the higher ups, the people that are running the show, really don't want us to understand and learn this information?
Oh, absolutely. It's if people knew what you knew and what you taught, it'd be a whole different game.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, we're trying to change the world one person at a time. So great to have your feedback. I love that. That was totally
Well, I hope people watching, it'll be the best money they ever spend.
Cool. Bonus. And we try to keep it pretty cheap, eh? Like, I was getting all like, what's so sad about educational institutions is that it's almost turned into like students themselves are like profit centers, right? They're like income generators for these educational institutions. So as long as we can keep these prices low, 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 and Brian has to try and realize that the value of money itself is collapsing. So my perception of what a dollar is worth has to change. But as long as we can try and keep these prices cheap, I think we're doing the right thing here. So yeah, I totally agree. In fact, a lot of people have said, the education is easily 5-10 times the price, but hey, they're happy they got it what they got it at, right?
Yeah, it's just people sign up soon because the price may go up with its value.
Well, yeah, but if anything, I think what TRI needs to do right now, and this is where all you guys really come in, is all we got to do now is just be. We don't have to do a hard sales pitch. We don't have to like grind the market. Hopefully everybody's watched over the past 6 months, just our calm demeanor as price just slowly comes back down off the highs and all these bottoms are slowly coming in. And it's just like, yeah, just business as usual. That's, if anything, what we all need to do here is just relax. And if anything, I'm sort of speaking out loud to myself. All you guys are like, fuck that, man. I want to go make $1 million right now, man. So, take advantage of this market. You can use more leverage as, the bottoms start coming in. It's awfully difficult when you have to go through that sort of 2-3 month period that we just went through. Just being patient and just waiting, right? That's tough. And even for an old gnarly guy like me, I'll work those nanny nibbles, right? And be very conservative. And hey, look, I got to do something, man. I want to work some bids. All right, go and work like a 0.5% bid or something, right? Now that the market is trying to stabilize and find a floor, and hopefully there might be little FUs along here. It wouldn't shock me. But I think on balance, they've washed a good chunk of the public out. If anything, now I love this kind of environment right now because there's one site member. I totally love the guy. Totally the best attitude. And I tell lots of stories in here about him sitting, like in the middle of February last year, and it's pitch black and it's horrible weather out. And we're just pouring through charts looking for those bottoms and stuff. And that's now like 2 Februarys ago. But we even like built setups off of him where you wait for the market structure bottom to come in, the W's come in, and then you pull up your fibs and you start throwing on 78.6 levels, and do those 78.6s line up off of previous structural W's. That's the kind of market that I think we're in right now. It's a cool little window. Don't, and if anything, what I kind of worried about here is people are kind of throwing trade location out the window, and we're getting into that kind of FOMO thinking. I saw a couple charts posted this morning, and I pulled up the charts and I went, holy shit, that's horrible trade location. None of the rules about our trading change. If anything, now we have to have even more patience and discipline not to FOMO and don't chase. I think, it's really interesting. I won't mention the person's name, but when I looked at something like Ethereum this morning, and really you could argue even Bitcoin, most of these names really for that matter, I'm worried that people are like, oh yeah, this is a runaway bull. Just, this is a perfectly fine to just go and grab this here. And I think if anything, now you have to, reaffirm your commitment to levels and trade location. And, if you do use divergences, if you're looking for Davos, if you're looking for Ray barbecues, whatever, I mean, you have to reaffirm none of the rules change. So here, for example, I heard somebody, like I said, I'm not going to name names, but I heard somebody saying, oh, rah, rah, Ethereum. Now, what was really interesting was there somebody on the site talking about Ethereum when it was down here doing this WE action? There was somebody. He likes picnic baskets. And he likes, what else does he like? He likes honey pots. Anyway, I do remember, and I was sort of on the fence. I don't know. And I don't know what it is about. Ethereum. I always get such a funny feeling around this coin. But anyway, I remember Thomas last week was like, I'm getting really jazzed on Ethereum, but I'm worried, that we're looking at coins here and going, oh yeah, this is perfectly acceptable. I can totally see, maybe what has to happen is it has to go a bit higher here, but I could totally see our Kavarkanator setup forming here. And I really don't think it's a good idea that we start chasing price unless you have like pretty good, setups off of lower time frames. Maybe there was you're trading like a 30-minute bot or something in here. Okay, fine. So we got one low, two lows, three lows. But just, if it is a setup that you're trading an AB equals CD and you're looking to take profits, I think it's important to really articulate that that's what the trade is. Because, I'm really worried. And this is what happens in capitalism all the time. Is for those that were patient and disciplined and hunted the reversal, the W, whatever you want to call it down in here, hats off to you. That's all I can say is way to go. You're buying against lows, good old 78.6. I think I remember, Andrew, weren't you posting about 78.6 tags on this? And you can see the original market structure bottom tag here. There's a fucking trader's trade. You could have bought this W, but I'm really worried about people coming in now and saying, okay, yeah, this is no problem. We could totally buy this. This is extremely dangerous going in and just willy-nilly. Maybe, like I just said a moment ago, maybe we come up against this trend line and you're like, all right, man, I'm the fucking shit. And then it's like, Jiminy Christmas. So let's not lose our discipline about trade location right now, guys. Please, if you're thinking about putting new money, nothing's changed here. If anything, I think, obviously we should have a good old talk about Bitcoin, but just before we leave sort of the little ones that have turned here, I think that this ad is such a perfect example of a trader's life. And I do remember there was one site participant, one site member who was very interested in this. And he was also very interested in that, RJ setup that was really named off of an old student. What was his screen name? Ron Damon. Anyway, we affectionately like to call it the Leanne James setup. Or actually, we should probably use her full name, LJ. But this is so cool because there were so many cool sort of, you've often heard me say, if you can find 3 reasons for a trade, odds are you can find 4, 5, 6, and 7. And what's so cool about this is the original fractal, and I called that the big hairy ones trade, and it worked, and then oh no, oh shitty, but never got stopped out. We also had this cheeky little gap. Joshua loves his gaps. We've got the reload zone, and of course Brian always loves to talk about candle body lows. It's a nice trade location. Then even down here, coming down into the reload zone, gee whiz, nice. Look at that beautiful empire right there. We had a nice double bottom test, and you love to see this because can you guys see how this is almost a similar thing where this, sort of doji candle, you can see that same sort of thing right here. And, Brian talking about candle body lows, look how they brought the market right back against those candle body lows and put in the reversal there. Really cool example of just a nice, it's not really the best example of railroad tracks, but a nice little sort of down bar, finish near its close, open near its close, open up, reverse off of those lows. And then, of course, like we said, LJ setups, if you want to make it really simple, wait for a nice, in this particular case, it's not pretty, but on balance, we've got, trend line resistance here, tag here, tag here. If we resolve through that, we're basically in open air up here and just take whatever structural signal comes off of the other side of this trend line resolution. I thought that was such a cool setup. And now, in here, hopefully you can see kind of like that ETH. I don't think it's a good idea for new people to trading to consider this. But if you are trading lower time frames, I could probably see a bullish bot setting up here to take us up the next leg higher. So all the traders in the community go, yeah, Brian, little old ladies are fine, but I'm a slick trader. So I would maybe call this like a swing trade. Maybe we're going to go off of this particular range, that reaction low to that reaction high, and just see if we can get some bot levels to set up. So we'll go boop-a-da-boop. And we'll go boop. So 33, 66. We could even go off of all the way here because look at that. That even go 33. So, for those that are adventurous, do both bot setups and see if you start seeing overlapping reasons. Let's go with this one just for fun. And we'll go boopity boop and boopity boop and zoobity noop. Something like that. And then I always like to save these on TradingView. You can save the templates. So I like to save it as the bot trade levels. I don't know why TradingView does that, but you can see that it zooms it off to a million gazillion to 1. So you're going to have to go in and change that. I have no idea why it does that. And of course, try and, pick a number where you can see the levels. And then it always gives you a little bit of trouble if you actually wipe out everything completely. Okay, so maybe I'll go 25. There we go. All right, so now you can start to get an idea of what the trade sets up. Isn't that interesting? Can everybody see the W that literally set up right off of the bot? And you can also see that the market had a real fight here. Actually, do I really want to be a bull? Do I really want to be a bear? Do I want to be a bull? Do I want to be a bear? And then, whoom, up we go. So you can, for the traders in the community, you can kind of see setups developing here. Somebody even asked me recently, said, if I saw this bot sort of playing its way out and say I got a dip back against the 25, could I consider entering it? And my attitude, as long as this 50% level has not been hit, then this trade still is enterable. And actually what would be really cool is if this thing sort of double topped here and then came down and put in a nice little W here. And then you've got solid 1, 2, 3 solid lows to defend that. My hunch is there's a bit of open air in here. So, obviously we can't chase this price here. Maybe even ask if there's even a smaller bot that you could maybe sneak in off of. And let's see if we can get a nice consolidation there off of even a lower time frame. So this is a kind of market state that I think we're heading into, which is great. It took some time to put in this bottom, like in the bot tutorial. Can everybody see how this is almost, like our textbook bot tutorial, where we're going to let the market bottom. And then if this is indeed a bottom, then we should see trend continuation. And so the bot is how we're going to try and ride that trend continuation. Isn't that cool? I don't know. Anybody see that? Am I just sort of talking to myself? Probably. Really fun coin in here. And of course, if you did take that bot and you're working this trade, and it breaks these levels, I would just walk away. Probably we're going to have to dip right back down against these lows. So we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. But great demonstration of that transition, because this took a while, eh? And if anything, this is a really good education for everybody. What do bottoms look like? I mean, that was a long, slow, painful bottom. That was like 2 weeks. Right, if we go and might as well look at Bitcoin now, eh? If we look at bottoms, right, this is a long period of I'm a bear, I'm a bear, I'm a bear, I'm a bear, I'm a bear. Oh, maybe I'm not. No, I'm not. And what I noticed here through this period here is the market just doesn't have any sellers. Everybody who wanted to sell, everybody who was going to sell has sold. And I'm just not seeing any traction at all from the sell side here. So, I had put out, I mean, you look at this momentum study, it's beautiful. We're coming up on a pretty significant level here. If we get any sort of follow through, and it looks to me like this is following through, I don't see any give back here at all. But can we punch up through the top here and confirm this massive W? Keep in mind that we've been running this bear really for, this entire bear move is predicated off of this top here. So, this could be a very significant seed change in the trend for us for some time going forward. The problem here, of course, is, if you are an investor in Bitcoins, hopefully everybody can see, even on Bitcoin itself, there's the double bottom. If we draw our fibs, we can be buyers in reload zones right off of original double bottoms. Shouldn't shock anybody to see that. That's still too much. There we go. So, try not to get sucked into FOMO. Oh my God, it's going straight up. I'm seeing this a lot on a lot of coins. You kind of missed this trade. If you didn't take this trade, you missed it. And you actually have to have the patience and discipline. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. This is where we let some previously go. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to wash this stop, and they might even wash this stop too before this move is done. And if we go and look at the Japanese market, because I've been really following this. I really like this story, the way this is. Where's Mo? Mo and his crazy stories. Here we are. I mean, look how textbook this is now. Do you guys remember when we first loaded this and we were like, oh, geez, is this going to turn? There's 3 harmonics here. There's, oh, yeah. And then I remember this day in particular, I was like, oh, fuck, fucking harmonic. Fuck, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she came screaming back and it was like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. And then we were like, okay, no, is that? And then look at this. I mean, just absolutely textbook pivot right off of this trend line break right at these damn harmonics. I mean, I hope everybody, you really want to learn how to trade. I'm not going to say it's easy. Nobody's here is going to say it's easy by one bit. But hopefully everybody sees how utterly telegraphed this bottom was. In the short term, the harmonic players, the guys who had the balls to go and buy here, and you got to have pretty big, hairy ones. Remember that ADA trade? They're going to be thinking about taking some profits relatively soon here. We have to acknowledge that. And of course, just the very simple GAN people, they're going to be taking profits here. Oops. Oh, that's interesting. I jumped over there. Yeah, look at that. It's frozen. Yeah, what's happened? Look at that. Can't move it now. Hold on a second. Sometimes TradingView does this if I don't update the browser for a while. No, and that's the thing, right? Is I don't really socialize with the other sex very much. I try to be respectful, but no, I don't do a very good job at being politically correct. All right, so as I said just a moment ago, oh, now where did that go? Oh, it's gone. Oh well, they took it away from me. So I did have a note here that said that harmonic. Not weird. Oh well. Anyway, harmonic traders are probably going to be taking profits there fairly soon, and 50% levelers, they're going to be looking for this 9,700, which is interesting, right up against that high. So I got a funny feeling those that have their stops against here, be careful. They're coming after you. And then we went after the stops. I think I told you guys recently, what'll end up happening here is, like I can feel it. There just aren't any sellers out there. It's pretty remarkable. It's just, there's just a vacuum of sellers out there. And like, if you look at them right across the board, just everything is just lifting. There are just no sellers out there. Which is great. I mean, after 2 or 3 months of shit, right? It's really nice to see they're just lifting. So I think if anything, OMG got a little too far too fast ahead of itself, and it had to come back down. If anything, OMG, like this is Sjord's favorite one that we bought recently right off of here. It's that same principle. Hopefully everybody can see the W. Look how it ran right up to that 50% level and doink, it stopped on a dime, eh? So I think and this is why we can't chase here. So if we go back to Bitcoin and we're thinking that same 50% level, where is it? Where was the chart that I had the 50% level on? Was it? I think it was the Japanese one, eh? Yeah, here. So, that's there right there. OMG has already hit it, right? And it's backing off. So, please don't go and invest and think, it's relatively low risk, because the upside right now is there. But the downside, like we said just a minute ago, is if you actually want to buy Bitcoins, the reload zone is right off the original double bottom. I think sort of the short-term pattern, and this is what I was working up this morning and posting in the lounge. I think it's going to look something like this. And we've talked a bit about this potential inverted head and shoulders to take us forward. Gee whiz, guys. I sure hope everybody really learned about this 3 drives pattern. The level 3ers, do we have any level 3ers here in the Hangout today? No. Yeah, those level 3ers are all slackers. Anyway, really good example of because they just did harmonics in the level 3 program. I mean, gee whiz, this is just such a fantastic example of harmonic trade location. Stunning. I really do think I really like this this LJ setup that developed off of this trendline break. Doink, doink, doink. Structure, go. And if you did play this trade, and I don't think I have it on here, but you can see that this AB equals CD, remember 99.52 is our neckline, if this is a head and shoulders thesis. And the 50% level is right up against that wick. Remember, there's 99 right in there, and that's 97.9. So, and it's interesting. Look at Japan. Japan, look how strong it is here. Japan's going to be breaking out here unless the price just rolls over here hard in the next like 4 or 5 hours. And keep in mind, this will be the start of their day. So people are going to wake up to this market. Like literally, this thing could pop violently here. So I do like those short-term bot setups kind of idea, but little old ladies, nanny nibbles, people are like, "Oh, is this the bottom? I should go buy bitcoins here." I don't think this is horrible trade location, like with a lot of those names. Short-term trade setup, sure, but investing levels, no, I think you actually missed the boat. Like there it is there. So in the short term here, like I said, if we have just put in, it's interesting on the 4-hour chart. Where you can see they're trying to put in an inside reversal here. So I don't know how they're going to set up the start of the Japanese session. You can see the last time they put in an inside bar here on the 4-hour, there's a big dump, right? But that set up the bottom against these range lows. There is another inside bar. So just like we said just a moment ago, if this fires, then maybe that daily RSI and the daily charts don't look nearly as powerful, and this thing sort of calms down a bit. But I don't know. I mean, I certainly, they just went and, all the crypto kids, they got them all thinking tops in here, and pow, they just blasted it to a new high. I think probably, I think we even talked about this in, I don't know whether it was Friday's video or not, but I seem to remember making reference that these lows in Chicago have some gaps, and you notice that there's a gap right here on the Japanese chart on the 4-hour. There it is right there. So I probably, I'd be thinking, for those people that are trying to hunt shorter term setups, trying to get in on this, I'd actually be thinking what is the odds of that being a reload zone of just this range off of this low up to this high, right in that gap. So, it'll be interesting to see how they close today, because of course today is Sunday. And that will be, okay. So can you see how 78.6 is right at that gap level? So, watch for that. Now, because this is the weekly candle, look how strong this, remember that inside bar reversal that we saw yesterday or last week? Anybody remember that? I remember we mentioned this. So you can see the inside bar reversal fired. Do they close this weekly candle right up at the top here? That's interesting. Not exactly the prettiest of fractals. It's not an empire. Could we spend a week or so just maybe even carving out an inside bar in here for a while? I think I would prefer, to be honest with you, I would prefer to see the market just sort of settle in up in this area here, and then maybe print the new candle, beep, in about 5 hours. And then maybe spend like some time backfilling a little bit of this big candle there on the new weekly candle. So I would ideally like to see this finish up here and then open, and then we'll do a bit of backfilling, and then we'll come in and we'll see whether these lows are for real. But this candle hasn't finished. I don't know what this weekly candle, what their plan is for this weekly candle. It's a fairly bullish sign, no doubt about it. But like I said, potential that we could stall here. And you can see 61.8 is right up against candle body lows. These tails like to be eaten, blah, 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 blah. And Joshua is sitting there just laughing at us right there, right by the 78.6. So again, it's kind of like Ethereum and all that kind of shit. Please don't chase up here thinking this is a slam dunk easy trade, because I got a funny feeling there's a bit of FOMO going on in the air. I can kind of feel it. People are almost giddy. I don't think it's necessarily a short or a sell signal. It's just maybe price has gone a little too far too fast. We're coming into the end of the weekend. They like to reset the market into that adult window for the CME boys. And we should probably, I think it's this one. we should make reference to where the CME boys went out on the weekend, eh? So you can see here, it looks like they went out here. The market opened up, but notice they brought the market right back to where the CME boys went out. You see that? So they brought the market back here, and then they knocked it right back down to their original levels. So I'm not quite sure where the CME boys are coming back. So that's these guys, the orange and the teal. So let's see, where is Friday on this thing anyway? Friday was the 13th, wasn't it? Friday 13th, so 13th. So it looks like they went out somewhere around here. So we are here. I could, so that sort of plays into what we were thinking too. I could see a nice pullback against these areas in here on sort of like the beginning of the week. And then, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday, London kill zone. We'll watch to see if they bring the market back down against these lows. Then Tuesday, we should be thinking about bottoms. If they rally it up to new highs, then Tuesday, Wednesday, we should be thinking about a pivot top. Does that make sense, guys? Jason says he's a couple gaps on the 4-hour stamp chart. Thank you. Hey, Benjamin, do you have that GitHub web address with all those scripts for all the coins that are listed on the various exchanges? A couple people were asking for that. I wouldn't mind putting that in the library just so we have it for reference. Yeah, if you could post it here, I'd totally love you for it. Kisses, kisses. So let's not get any, a big dose of FOMO right now. It's a nice up market. Great, awesome. It sure is nice that we got the pivot. You're definitely coming to the trade very late if you're thinking about buying right now. So be cognizant of that with regard to Bitcoin, okay? And, that doesn't mean we should change trading plans. We should change our reasons. We want, if you're going to hunt lower time frame setups, great, follow those rules. But, higher time frames, we ideally want location. We want divergence. We want structure. Right now, location is a bit suspect. We certainly have no signs of bullish divergences. If anything, you could argue that sort of was what was happening through this area here. If anything, I think, I was noticing on the charts, this was a really, really good example. Is this Williams percentage R? Yeah, it is. This is a really good example. That's a 38.2, which is off of that high. And of course, that was a minus 50 line cross, like a perfect example of Ray Barbecue. But, right now, be careful, people. Please be careful. And I'm sure, like Thomas loves his OK coin hourlies. I'm sure he's going to be coming to us tomorrow and saying, all right, I hope everybody sees that we've made higher highs in price, but MACD has not made higher highs. There is a potential divergence building on the hourly. And we'll see that Willie is approaching stupid, and we can see that the buying pressure, they're taking the market to new highs, but volume is trailing off. I can hear him talking already. And then he'll be saying, okay, let's go to the 4-hour. Let's see if we have trade location. And, like if we look at this on the 4-hour, hopefully everybody sees. The problem with OK Coin is you got this crazy fuck you bar. But, even if we go off of maybe this firm low here and go reload zones, it looks like we could still work our way a little higher here on the 4-hour. Bull divergence came, I don't know whether there's a bull divergence, but the nice bull turn in momentum here. Willie is officially stupid though, so we really, this is not a good place to be a buyer. There's more sort of anecdotal evidence of that. And if anything, we got to be cognizant that this move here to new highs is a massive divergence in the MACD. So if this rolls over and like this 4 hour fires, you can hear Thomas right now going, all right, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Why are you buying? You nutso? No, he wouldn't say that. So I think, on balance, we can sort of see the reasons to be on pause here when it comes to Bitcoin. We're overbought. We're in potential divergence, which might confirm into a negative. And, I think I've actually tried to convey this to the community too. When you get one of these MACDs where the bounce, you can see we went to new high, but the bounce here, all it does is it comes back to the 0 line, and it doesn't even get on top of positive here, and it rolls back over. Oh boy, that's really dangerous. So we potentially have that developing as well. Be careful here, everybody. Don't chase. This is not a good place to be a chaser. Now, there are some cute little names, and this is why I was asking earlier. I've just noticed on Binance, a lot of names are popping up. Look at these beautiful W's, eh? I mean, they're just so pretty. And the great part about these things is they can give you doubles very, very quickly. Can everybody see how the bottom here is at 1,500 and the top of value just so happens to be at 30? Do you think that's a coincidence? I don't. It's basically going to just generate a free position for these people. So I have been noticing, and like I showed you that bits, like a beautiful chart. I went and bought a bit more of this off of this nice little W here. I've got tons of this across Polo, across Binance. I've covered like 20 different directions on that guy. The great part about it is everybody can see the gaps. Everybody knows how insanely volatile this shit is. I could easily, if I had bought down here and I got my sell half on a double order working, this is 39. All I need is a rally into this area to give me a double on this thing. Can you guys see that? I mean, this is why you guys come to learn this shit from me. You got to learn this stuff. I mean, location. Can everybody see the reload zone here? Is there anybody who's new to this site that can't see the reload zone here? I mean, this is basically everything that we teach to do in speculating. And the great part about it is now, of late, we've been talking a lot about things like 88.6 is you want to be a real cheap ass. Work your stink bids at 88.6. Look at these sick ass levels. It's ridiculous. So the point here is we come into trade location, wait for the W. Hopefully everybody can see this is like a W within a W within a W. Jason, my all-star pupil here today. Can you see these W's? Is this the kind of shit that you've learned over the past 3 months to look for?
That's exactly what you taught us.
Good. If you do the level 2, we do moving averages. Look how clean these fucking moving average crosses are. This is ridiculous. I mean, geez, you could write an algo and make money off of this damn stuff. So you got that to look forward to, Jason. But I mean, we talk. I think if anything, and I've seen a lot of these lately, this is sort of like a W within a W, and that really makes like a triangle. Beautiful resolution. In fact, I remember I think it was just a week or two's level 1 class, we did a whole talk about triangles. So just beautiful, beautiful work. And really, there's no reason why we can't be making great doubles on this kind of stuff. I see a cheeky little gap right there. That's 9,000. Jesus, that's even almost a double from where we are right now. So, they're coming in here. And, you go on tracks, and there's that ADA in Bitcoin terms. I mean, you can see the levels. Little concerned about chasing price up here, though. Can I be a buyer here? I don't know. If you're doing this versus Bitcoin, you can see the W within W. I mean, that's a hell of a level there. I don't know if it's a good idea, though, to chase. And if anything, this is a really good piece. I often suggest to people, you want to try and get in on a trend trade. Notice if you wanted to short this M, if you just worked your order at the 13 EMA, it actually got you in pretty nicely along the way. So here I would say the exact opposite. Use the 13 EMA to work your bids, and what a coincidence. And you see how basically the 13 EMA right there is that market structure W level. And that level right in there, right? So work your bid, and gee whiz, there's the 13 EMA just sitting there. So that, again, don't chase here, guys. Really, just don't think it's a good idea to chase. I wanted to mention Alex's coin because they're doing some fundamental stuff. And I noticed there's a really interesting short-term setup because I was thinking about trading this last night. This is a bot, right? And they've had a big fundamental, their airdrop, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully everybody can see this sort of W pattern come in here. And this is sort of like the initial reaction burst out of this W. I traded this W and got stopped out. Boo, hiss, hiss, boo. But it's a trader's life. That's just the way it goes. So I was still interested, and I didn't get in on this W because it just happened so fast. But haven't lost focus. Saw that this bot setup started to form. And really cool, like if we change this to a line chart, you can see the W within the W within the W. Like this sure looks like an important level here, right? So I actually got my bid working last night, and I thought I got a fill here, but these cocksuckers didn't give me a fill. So you can see there's where I had my order working right at this gap because I wanted to get in on this trade. You can see the bot has already fired. So technically you could be long from the bot levels and just simply trade these levels. I wanted to try and be cheeky and sneak in off of this gap and the tag of the original market structure clothesline level. It's going to be tough for me now. Like this was the bar to get the fill, and noticed where it stopped. Stupid 13 EMA. But I wanted to get in off of this level, so I'm just gonna let my order work, and hopefully, if I'm lucky through the day, I get my fill here. But this is an example of trading a lower time frame setup within a trending market state. Not, for the basic. This isn't just buy it and forget it. If this level is broken, I have to walk. So I feel pretty confident that this W is going to work, and basically the trade is working. But I'm working my bid here off of this gap in the original market structure level, and if I'm lucky, I can get my fill here through the day. So I wanted to mention that because we will be doing a Coinigy show. Alex wants to tout his upcoming airdrop, hard fork drop, hard drop, whatever the hell it is. We'll be probably talking about that. And I think it would be really cool if we were in that show and it was rallying and all our TRIers could say, oh yeah, we're along the bot here, and right now we've hit our stop to scratch, so basically we're sitting in a winning trade or whatever, blah, 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 blah. I wanted to be in some sort of trade with him for that show. And considering there's a fundamental driver, I think it makes sense. Okay, you guys were going on about something earlier. What was popping? You guys were getting on about Cloak. And actually, I have Cloak on some other exchange now, eh? Didn't we have to move it? Is Cloak still on tracks? I thought I remember that this thing had to be moved. Maybe it's something else. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, so about 5% on the day. I certainly don't think you could be a buyer here. That makes no sense at all. Joshua, you could probably see even now, he would be like, all right, what do we got down and probably down in this area? It almost looks like, and Sen's little script, there must have been a gap right here. This gap looks like it was filled in. There's a gap on this day here and this day here. So I really think this looks very dangerous up here. And my hunch is the real shark traders, they're going to be working their bids to buy it back off of here. So be careful there, please. I really don't think it's a good idea to chase that. All right, what else do we want to look at here? Are you guys going on about something? Omni. Yeah, I like Omni. In fact, actually, I was singing the song the other day. I like sex and Omni, yeah. Oh, that's brutal. Actually, the same sort of thing. And this is where Sans Gap script is fucking awesome, eh? You can see exactly where the smart money is going to be looking to buy this thing back. Because they took this thing to a new low, unfortunately, we have to kind of think that this low has to be tested at some point here. 200 SMA tag, so it sort of cleaned up the excesses. Maybe on the weekly chart, probably looks like respectable, but you can see off the daily. Poor trade location right here. Yeah, if anything, I really like to use these moving averages. Can you see how these moving averages, both of them, prices just slamming into them? Sort of stop that rally in its tracks. So if anything, you want to see the resolution through these things and then confirm this big W, and then we're off to the races. Nice to see it's right up against previous Ws. So actually, this is a good example. You see how we sort of punch through this right up to this, then we have to consolidate, 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 and then pow, right? Blast through the top here. That's probably what we need to do here, right? Rally up, consolidate, consolidate, and then a pow, right? And smash through these things up here. So, yeah, that's probably fair. Something like there to there. And there's that gap. There is the Leprechavark. There is a Kavarkinator sitting off of the original market structure low. Reload zone. You can see this big tail, top of value, right? So probably the first stab is going to be into these moving averages, into this tail, into the top of value. Then it's going to jackknife away, and then it'll take another stab into the original breakdown if the market is sanguine. Or, if things are relatively positive, we'll, come down, consolidate, and then, form some sort of bottom and then work our way up. And then that would be the smash through here. So can't buy it here. Wait for consolidation, 3 higher lows, blah, blah, blah. Work your stink bids down against original. I started off today's conversation with exactly this. This is in essence, I love this type of market state. This is the best market state because the public is still skeptical. They've gotten destroyed and they're licking their wounds. They don't appreciate what just happened here. The market's popped, and if anything, they're looking at counter trend rallies as, oh, cool, I can get out now. And if you can, I did one off of Gembucks, which was the predecessor of Ubic. And I worked, in our library, right? I think we even have the shark set up. Where is it? This develops off of this kind of market state. Do you see that? Oh, and gee whiz, look at what time of year it is. Do you think there's a coincidence here? Not. Do you see how cliche this shit is? I tell you guys, this is the best time of fucking year for you to be going and hunting this shit now. Joshua just came back from his surfing safari, and now he's basically got the whole damn market just set up for him on a silver platter. So just be patient, work your bids, have fun at this. That's the whole point of this exercise. And just go out there and just and take advantage of the public. The public doesn't understand. The sad thing is the public's going to come in here buying, but you're not allowed to, right? You've got to, just like this, you got to work your bids off original structure. Let the public be buyers up here. Dump it back into the lows. Oh, can suck. There's a piece of shit there. And you're buying, and this is like the sweet spot of the market, in my opinion. So, okay, I've been blabbing away for about an hour. I don't know. Did anybody get any value out of that? I hope so. Kind of a fun Sunday rant. So, okay, guys. Hopefully, I think Thomas will be back tomorrow, so he'll be back in the driver's seat. I'll be in and out. Got to head out to Liam here in about an hour and a half. Seeing lots of the exams coming in. Seeing we're getting lots of really high scores. In fact, if we have more than 2 people that score 100% on the exam, we're probably going to have to do like a raffle for Sen's scholarships, because that's really the only fair way to do it. So I don't know what the tallies are now, but I do see people are submitting exams, and it's interesting when you give people incentive, how many of them go, well, it's no choice. I'm going to get 100% on this. I have no choice. All of a sudden, gee whiz, all these people are incentivized to actually study for the final exam. These silly humans. And if anything, I hope all of you guys really learn it. We should use this as a really good testament. I told you guys, I never, to date, never got a single exam back with 100% perfect score. And now all of a sudden everybody's like, well, I'm going to get 100%, no problem. Now, I don't know whether it's a function that the exam is easier, because really I don't think it's changed a heck of a lot. But I do think it's a very, very good testament to what happens to human beings when you incentivize them. And really, this is why communism failed, is because there's no incentive for humans to do anything. And so as a result, nobody gets a perfect exam. You incentivize humans, and then all of a sudden, remarkable things happen. So a really good sort of lesson in both human psychology and economics today as well. Okay, guys, you have yourselves a great day. I'm going to head off to the boys soon. I hope I've helped everybody. Please don't chase. Do not chase. Do not chase. Stick to your plan. What are your reasons? Work your bids. Respectable risk, right? We're not betting the farm on anything here. We're finally through probably the worst of the winter season. Could prices come back against lows? Yes. Do I consider them like this Omni, those pullbacks against lows buying opportunities? Double yes. So, just build your plan. Get out there, work your craft. You're all professionals. Show me your profession. And let's all go make a pile of money, because the market's just sitting there waiting for us. All right, guys. You have yourselves a great day. All the best, and bye for now.